Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to give you a complete guide how to avoid arguing with your wife based on your home cinema setup or your choice. So this is an interesting topic. If you're not married, you can skip this video and you can choose another tutorial in the channel. But if you are married and if you're wondering about home cinema setups, well, you gotta listen and learn from the experience. So without further ado, I'm going to first close the ambient lights because the picture will look better. This is not an ALR screen. I'm going to close the ambient lights, and right now the room is pitch black. And I know I'm a little darker, but you already probably seen the USD ultra short throw ALR setup that I showed you with way better contrast. But believe me, this is also looking quite better than you think from the camera. So any of us probably will have a projector setup. We'll have to deal with some cables, projectors placement, TV placement, soundbar placement, and all these things have some sort of like a HDMI cable, power cable, and some sort of rail system if you have to move the projector front and back, some sort of a screen depending on like this. This is a secret screen which probably every lady will like, but this is not a cheap solution and the picture is not great. This is just an option that I created for making ladies more happy, and also created a secret profile of screen if you don't have any place else to project. And you can go back and check that video. I will share the links in the description below, and also you're going to see probably how this screen happened, how I applied it, how I created it, and the installation. You will see the entire process. So this is not the topic of that video, but if you have an ALR screen, or if you have a long throw motorized screen with ALR or without ALR, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to place the screen. And if you don't have the second layer of sealing, you will have to power up that roll down screen. This is a non-motorized projector screen, and I hide the chain system, and you can go back and check my full guide video about how you can create something like this. But if you don't have a second sealing, you can't hide the power cables, so you gotta make the canals, and that will kind of like ruin the point of having the home cinema setup with the application of ladies love. So let's just face it, women really love maybe the end experience of a cool setup, but they don't love the cables. They hate the cables basically. So you got to get rid of the cables and create a clean setup. One other thing is you got to choose ultra short throw or a long throw. Something between will suck along the baseline of ladies, but you can solve them too. The first, let me just give you an example. The short throw could be the best alternative in the market that if you have a small room and if you want to create a big picture, and I did create a video why a short throw could be potentially best projector. But for a setup like me, I have to put the short throw in the middle of the room. And that is having a positive and negative. Let me just tell you, if you have a good speaker on the short throw, it will be very close to you and you will have a huge picture, like my ViewSonic X2 4K. But the main issue, you have to give the power somehow. So you gotta take the longer power cable right into the middle of the room or the placement so somebody can tackle to it. And also you got to remove the projector once you install it, watch the movie, you got to remove it. So that's the first thing. If you're going to remove after every watching movie session, then there is no problem for your probably lady. But if you're going to leave it there, that's a big problem. Don't do it. Don't argue with your wife. That's a serious topic. You don't have to at least argue about this with your wife. So get rid of these potential problems before they actually occur. The second thing is the problem of connecting with the sound setup. If you don't have a Bluetooth, or if you want the 7.1, let's just say Dolby Atmos, or dedicated receiver with a lot of big speakers like a home cinema setup, if you're planning or imagining this in a small house, And in a living room setup like me, ladies hate the cables, and big speakers and receivers means you're going to have to use the cables to connect them. So that way you got another problem, another arguing lady, which you won't like. So you got a couple of options. First, you can get rid of the cables by using a soundbar setup with a rear speaker, dedicated rear speaker that could be chargeable with a docking station, or you can use a dedicated rear speakers, at least connected somewhere behind the couch, that you can hide the power cable off them easily and they will get the signal at far beyond. Like my soundbar setup 3.1 soundbar TCL at the bottom of the TV right now, you've probably seen my full review. That soundbar is connected right now behind the back of this couch and nobody sees it, and electric cables are quite hidden. So that's another setup that you can use, soundbar and subwoofer combination, or even with the rear speakers. So how do you get rid of the projector? Well, that's a tough thing. You can't actually get rid of the projector in any way unless you have a dedicated ceiling, some sort of a space, and motorized ceiling unit that can have the projector hide inside and roll down when you watch movies. But those cost around $800 to maybe $1,000. Those are dedicated devices, and you got to cut the ceiling piece, and you have to have the depth of the ceiling. So those are great, in my opinion, if you have a dedicated space on the ceiling, 2 layers of ceiling. But you have to also create a casing, because two ceilings between could have a lot of dust in it. When you put the projector up high, you gotta some sort of seal the side pieces to not to get dust inside of the projector. And the cabling from the ceiling. If you have a dedicated cinema projector into living room, don't even think about it, because you have to put the cables in, and most of the dedicated cinema projectors have longer throw ratios, so you got to place them far behind. And if you want to connect them through the, let's just say 7.1 professional cinema level audio setup like a receiver and stuff, well, don't. Because when you do, you have to put the cabling, you have to cut everything. All these things can be doable. Like, you can literally put channels, cut the walls, create custom setups, and hide behind the TV unit. Whatever you do, you're going to make a huge amount of installment, and ladies won't like that. But if you can finish before the lady sees, then you might be able to get away with it. But does it worth the effort? So how I've sold my setup, and I'm going to talk about my setup right now, and I'm going to show you. If you know the channel, I have two different setups, and I want to adjust the camera and show you the first and the second one with the reasoning. So let's just heighten up the camera, and this is the first setup. Right now what you're seeing is, let me just return the camera a little bit more so you can see the TV too. So you already probably know the room. So this picture is 135-inch secret projector screen that I created early. There is no cable right now, and the projector is far away. The up top, the most distance place in the room right now, and you're not going to see the cabling. And this is the cable-free setup that I created best suit for my wife. Okay, this picture is not best suited for me. This is not an ALR screen, and the contrast is lacking. That's why. But if I want to add an ALR, I need to put it on the ceiling, that where you will see the screen. But this screen is underneath the regular curtain rail, and it's secret screen. So this is a regular white screen. Not my ideal taste, but it's a placement that will solve my not argue with the wife acceptance problem. So the term of a wife acceptance comes to many of my videos as comments, and that's why I am creating this video. So the first setup is this longer throw projector at the back. The cables are hidden, and let me just walk through the room and show you no cable setup. Okay, and I'm going to show you the other one. First, I need to take the camera and return it. So this is the far side of the room. Let me just rotate it. This is the picture, and I'm going to walk around here. So actually, you're not seeing anything, and the projector is here. Let me just walk around. This is the, oops, sorry, the tripod is hitting. This is the projector, okay? This projector has 1.6x zoom, and the reason is the ideal zoom ratio. Look at the door, and when you get inside of this big room, this is a 35 to 40 square meter room. It's a big room, at least for my point of view. So you can see a huge picture without any problem, and as you can see, there is no cable. The only cable comes to it is a power cable, and that's about it. Other than that, Android is, right now the dongle is built inside, and we have huge amount of zoom, 1.66, and directly I'm throwing to the screen. So I'm going to walk around and show you the second setup, because the second setup is more interesting for many people. The first setup was the secret one. Second setup, again, another secret setup. So probably you know the channel. This is my box that contains every camera accessories. I'm going to get rid of this to make things better with the wife, acceptance factor. So this is the first seat, okay, and I'm going to hit it. My wife put something here, but let's just hit this far as I can. And since we don't have too much of a thing here, I brought a couple of the projectors for review. That's why this space is right now filled with some of the stuff that I will review. And let me just put them a little bit away. This is a projector. Let's put this away. And normally they're not here, so this won't be like this complicated. But I'm going to push the seat, and this is the second seat, and here we go. So this is the ultra short throw 120-inch ALR screen, and if you know the channel, I have the remote control here. I'm not going to fully open it up. You can go back and check the other videos because it will hit the screen right now. This two screens is kind of like hitting to one another. But let me just open this up by pushing the first screen. We got a lot of curtains, okay, backdrops and curtains. So as you can see, this is rising up. And of course, even with the long throw, not suited throwing angle, this really creates basically extremely contrasted image. Yeah. So I might, if I wanna use it like this, I can drop down the picture with a vertical shifting, lens shift. I can drop it down and I can watch it like a TV level. But most important part, if I want to contrast, I can use the ALR setup. This is a versatile setup. You don't see too much of a cable off the ALR screen, but this is easily hittable or hidden projector screen, and it really helps me to use it in a daily setup in a casual manner if I want to watch something without bothering my wife and changing the whole interface of the room. Because let's just face it, I moved the furniture and I've created some sort of misalignment. And even if your lady is not having an OCD, okay, she won't like that you are messing with the furniture's placement. Men with marriage, and especially long marriage, will know what I talk about right now. So you don't want to mess up your wife's section. What I mean by that, like, you have the section of the house. You know what I'm talking about. So you can mess up with that section. Let's just say an attic or a basement. Okay, these are the areas that nobody sees. But if you touch something at the places that somebody else could easily see, like a living room, like a kitchen, well, you're going to be hated. Let's just face that reality. So, wife acceptance factor is a real thing. That's why I am creating this guide. So if you follow my guide, okay, if you create something like this or something like the other setup, you'll be happy. Let me just return the camera for good, and Let me just return it. And I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to go back where it all started in this video. So I hope you learned from this video. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Your wife is not your enemy, but you have to find a way to hide the cables, hide the projector, hide the projector screen if you have a chance. And the most important one of the advices that I can give it to you is also, if you have a TV cabinet like this, let me just show you. TV cabinet like this, choose your cabinet before, or if you have to choose it with your wife, think about a projector that can fit into that cabinet. Let me just give you an example. This cabinet size is 33 to 34 centimeter, and I'm going to show you just one Wambu model, okay? It's not right now my actual 4K projector that I use in this video, but this device is tiny. It is not big, not too small, so I can open up a unit piece and I can place it inside without any problem. So choose your projector wisely that you can place it inside of the TV cabinet. Let me just show you. I have a couple of boxes here, and I made probably a dedicated video that I've solved my cabling problem. Like, these are 30 centimeter boxes, and they can contain from batteries, wireless HDMIs, from cables, from all the things that I review, okay? So this is a mess. I'm going to probably reduce the size amount of the things also for happier wife concept, but let me just show you. I put the projector in, okay, and I put the remote control of the projector in, and here we are, clean as we started. So if you can decide your projector size, take a good look at the projector size before you make a purchase of a projector that you can hide underneath a TV unit. That will also help if you're going to place it and then remove it. That will also reduce the potential dust issue, and everywhere will be looking clean and you'll be happy. And if you use Bluetooth audio, so you don't have to put audio cabling, the only thing that you have to buy is a smart projector if you don't want to connect to something, and that's about it. The only thing that you might want to consider if you're going to console game with your projector or not, because if you're going to connect your console, that means you're going to have to put the console in some place that close to a projector. So let me know what you think about my wife acceptance setup. The new projector that I purchased, and I'm not going to reveal the model, but probably if you've seen it, you have a guess. It is an Epson model, and it's a 4K projector, and I'm going to fully review that model, so later on you will have a better idea. But the setup, the reason that I bought it, I have better projectors, better contrasted projectors, but the throw ratio fits perfectly. I don't have to remove the projector from that point, the edge of the room, and I'm going to have the picture that I wanted as a size. That's the placement question that you have to solve. Like, learn the throw ratio and match it with your room setup. Without that, you're going to have a problem on the placement. Because my early solution was a cheaper one. I put the projector on that same stand, but since the throw ratio was not matching, I've used a longer HDMI cable and longer power cable. I took the projector and placed it on the table. Let me just show you how it happens. This was the placement, okay? Let's just rotate it. This was the projector placement. Let me just get the camera like this. And this is the table. So when I need it, all I was doing, taking the projector from there, using a longer power cable and putting it on the table right here, where it really sits, something like this. Let me just rotate the camera. It was somewhere like this. The table was here. I put the projector in this corner and projected same image, but the distance was like this. So I needed something with a zoom. That's why I switched to this more logical solution. By the way, what you're seeing is the Epson LS650, and it's my ultra short throw. I'm going to put it into another drawer when I wanna experience professional level cinema experience. So this will give me a general use setup. I know probably majority of people will only have one projector, so you got to choose it right. But if you follow my voice, follow my advices, probably you're going to create your own solution and let us know how you solved your wife acceptance problems. And of course, not getting rid of your wife. Some people will probably tell it as a joke, but I problem is solved. Like there is a sticker on the cars, like problem solved. Ladies pushed out of the car. It's not a solution, gentlemen. It's a potential another problem. So you don't want to create a problem in the first place when it comes down to the home cinema setup. It's just something to be enjoyed together as a family members. So I hope you enjoyed in this video. I hope this video kind of like helped you on a direction how you can solve some of the problems. And with the jokes aside, maybe your wife will accept any setup that you do, but ladies don't generally, let's just expect these things in advanced. No lady loves the cables. No lady loves the stuff that you touch on the living room, probably on the furniture side of things. And even in the kitchen, no lady will let you touch some of the stuff. So you got to make these choices. If you want to create a man cave setup, that is a whole another story. So in this video does not cover that. Like if you literally have a dedicated room where you can touch everything, mess up with anything, or a garage maybe dedicated, then you are good to go. But this video contains where you have to place your cinema setup in a living room or somewhere that your wife regularly don't want you to mess up with. And the one last thing you can consider, if you have at least want to, use it as a cinema experience, but in a casual way, you can consider to convert the bedroom, because bedroom is not a place that everybody goes in. So if you place your projector in a good way, like a ceiling projector setup before the sleep, it's not right because of the serotonin levels and not or whatnot. But basically, you can use your projector projected to a ceiling and watch it as a casual projector like the one that I showed you earlier. Of course, it won't be a professional level of cinema setup, or any kind of like high-end projector won't be turning upwards, at least other than the new models. You can't do them with the older couple of years old models. It should be like last 2 or 3 year kind of like a new gimbaled models. Other than that, you can't easily do that. I guess that's about it. I think I've covered many of the stuff that might help you. Let me know if I forgot anything about this topic. Let me know if you want advanced version of this sort of content. And if you have any ideas that could be a potential guide video topic, just ask them in the comment section, because I really create these videos based on your comments and your needs, I guess, and also my needs too. Like I've literally argued with my wife many of the videos before many of the videos because I changed the setup too much for review sake of the review and the channel. Normally, if I have to do the setup, I would do this setup. Right now, what I am doing, one long throw, one ultra short throw for best image, and then regular use TV. So this is going to be the probably ultimate no arguing setup. But if you don't have the budget for it, one thing that you can do, you can go back to my first video and check that video out. And I'm probably going to create another video in the future. The ideal of the ideal setup will be a secret screen. If you can have recessed, I am planning for that too in the upcoming videos, a recessed secret screen motorized inside of the second layer of the ceiling, and then drop it down in front of your TV. And if you do that with a long throw projector, nobody sees your projector, and it's not going to be changing the angle of your sitting position like I do. And you're going to have the best of both worlds in the same placement. So you're going to keep the audio placement in the same level too. So it's going to be the probably perfect solution, but sometimes in my setup, it's not easy as we talk about it, because I can't really put a recessed. I need to remake the whole ceiling because I need to cut a lot of stuff, holders and of the second layer of ceiling. And one other thing, I'm using Govi. It has sensor. I need to put it down. And I have chosen the TCL T8B. It's a thicker TV, so my screen needs to be a little bit forward, and that make me closer to a big screen. If you're going to do such a stuff, you gotta go for a slimmer TV like an OLED or QNAD from LG, or some of the thinner TVs like mini LED models. If you go by like a QLED like me, budget-friendly T8B, that's going to be a thick TV like a probably 10 to 12 centimeters up front from the wall, even with the smallest VESA mount system. So that won't be a smart move if you're going to go on the front on a small scale room like this. I can consider this depth kind of like a little smaller. So you gotta think about a lot of stuff before you're making your purchases. But if you do, again, you gotta think differently before changing your setup into a direction. You can go back and check my first video where I showed you my TV and in front of it white screen again. But that screen and this screen is similar setup, cheap material. If I have to go buy another screen, just instead of this secret screen project, I would go for proper ALR, even for the long throw and ultra short throw. It doesn't matter because ALR will give you better blacks, and you've seen it in the many videos of mine. Of course, increases the cost, but if you can hide the screens and if you can lit up the room, you will have a great picture. So I hope to see you in the next video, and your room light setup should be considered before making, I guess, projector placement and the screen placement, because really room lights adds or steals a lot of your picture quality. Let me just close the Govi lights again. I'm going to close the lights, and this is the picture, and it's better contrasted than what you see, but still, of course, a better picture without an ALR when I close the lights. So I hope to see in the next video. Until the next video, let me just open up the lights and talk about my last lines. I hope to see in the next video. Bye from Home Cinema and Tech Review, and hoşça kalın from Turkey. And thank you for watching this video until now. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to like and subscribe and hype the videos if you can. Bye.